this wasn't just a random street crime. This was a targeted hit. The CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, was shot to death right in Midtown Manhattan. Why is this worth talking about? Because the death of this one man literally united the whole country, from left wing to right wing, from white to black, and from rich to poor. Well, you might want to exclude the mega rich here, and I'll get into that in a minute. Let's start with the man at the center of it all, the one who shot the CEO. His name is Luigi Mangione. Now, he may not fit the usual profile of someone who would go out and shoot someone in broad daylight. He's a 26-year-old Ivy League grad, extremely intelligent, outgoing, and described as a kind and caring person by those who knew him. Not exactly your typical cold-blooded killer, right? During the investigation, it was revealed that 6 months before the murder, he just went quiet. No social media, no contact with family or friends, to the point where his family filed a missing persons report. They were completely in the dark. To make things even weirder, he was using a fake ID, as if he were trying to actively hide his identity. Was he running away from something, or was this part of a bigger plan? Let's shift gears a bit and talk about the crime scene itself, because there's some pretty strange stuff there too. The shooting happened right outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. A bold move. It's a very public place with tons of witnesses and cameras everywhere. It was as if he wanted to make a spectacle of it. And then there are the shell casings. The engraved shell casings with words on them. And the messages on these casings quickly helped investigators connect the dots and figure out the motive behind the crime. And this is where the whole country started talking about it. His motive was something so relatable to most Americans that people actually started rooting for the shooter. The 3 9mm shell casings each had one word engraved on them: delay, deny, and depose. These words are directly connected to a book called Delay, Deny, Defend by Jay Feinman, which is essentially a takedown of the entire healthcare industry in the US. To give you a bit of context, Jay Feinman is a legal scholar, a professor of Rutgers University School of Law, and an insurance expert. The book focuses on how insurance companies are built on deception and designed to trap and confuse people for profit. It argues that these companies often try to delay payment of justified claims, deny payment altogether, and defend their refusal in court, hoping that the policyholder will give up when they run out of resources or the will to fight. So why is this book so significant? Well, we could create a whole new video about the corruption in the US healthcare system and how it destroys people's lives on a daily basis. But there's one thing you need to know. Around 1 in 5 Americans report having medical debt, and 66.5% of bankruptcies in the US are linked to medical issues, which is mind-boggling. Health insurance costs are so high, and even with the best coverage, the insurance companies find loopholes after loopholes to avoid covering expenses. There are millions of horror stories, and it's almost become the norm. Here's one that was shared with BuzzFeed.
I have incredible insurance. It's $800 each month for me and my family. When I had my first baby, I was in labor for 33 hours, then had an unplanned C-section. And my son had to be in the NICU for 5 days. Overall, it was $66,000 for my stay and $125,000 for my son's. Again, I have very robust insurance with high monthly costs, low deductibles, and low out-of-pocket maximums. My deductible was $750, and my out-of-pocket max was $3,500. A month or so after we got home, I received a huge bill saying I owed $15,000.
Here's another one to give you an idea. Just in case you're watching from overseas, this isn't some random isolated story.
I was in a motorcycle wreck in which I badly damaged my femur at my knee. I was on the waiting list for a caravan replacement. When there was finally a match and I went for clearance, I had a cold. My doctor found I had pneumonia. Given that the surgery from the donor part was time-sensitive, my anesthesiologist used a combination of sedatives that were safe given the pneumonia. My health insurance company insisted the anesthesia was not medically necessary. During a surgery in which my knee was being cut open and my femur was being operated on, I appealed, but I lost. Got stuck with $11,000 bill.
So to summarize, having insurance doesn't protect you. You'll have to fight, and you'll mostly likely lose at the end. Now, let's say you can't afford to pay hundreds of dollars every month. I mean, that makes more sense considering that doing so doesn't even really protect you, right? If you don't have any coverage, and if anything happens to you, you're completely f***ed. Let's say you break a bone. You'll get a bill for doctor visits, x-rays, casting, surgical treatment, physical therapy, and probably more. All of this can easily cost you tens of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, over $100,000. Additionally, the US has the highest prescription drug prices in the world. For insulin, without insurance, it'll cost you $200 to $500 per month in the US. Whereas they're free in the UK for residents and only $12 to $20 in South Korea. South Korea has a highly affordable national health insurance system where the government pays 30 to 80% of medical bills immediately, like on the spot. With their system, the cost could drop to just $4 to $10 per month. I've given 3 examples, as all 3 countries have some of the best medical practices in the world. Now, take the cost of an EpiPen, a life-saving treatment for severe allergic reactions. In the US, without insurance, it can cost between $600 to $800. In Germany, the same EpiPen costs between $75 to $140. In South Korea, without insurance, it costs $45 to $90. But with their affordable national health insurance, it's only $7 to $20. That's more reasonable, right? Remember, an EpiPen is a life-saving treatment, such a simple medication, yet without it, people can actually die. And yet, regular Americans can't afford it. Don't have thousands of dollars lying around? Go bankrupt or die. Brian Thompson was the top dog at the health insurance company that has delayed, denied, and disposed of the claims of millions of Americans. They see him as the embodiment of everything wrong with the system, and this is probably why people are finding it difficult to show sympathy. Enough about the US healthcare system. Let's get back to Luigi. He was caught in camera all over the place. He took a bus cross-country, then was spotted at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. An employee called the authorities, and he was arrested. And here's an interesting part. After people found out that it was a McDonald's employee in Altoona, Pennsylvania, who turned Luigi Mangione in, netizens flooded the restaurant with terrible, negative Google reviews. It got so nasty that Google had to take the reviews down. People were saying, why would you turn him in? So the police arrest Luigi, and he has a 3-page handwritten manifesto. In it, he justifies killing Brian Thompson, criticizing corporate America, especially the healthcare industry, and calling them parasites. He argues that they deserved what they got. Chilling stuff. He paints himself as a hero fighting a corrupt system. It makes you wonder, what was the breaking point for Mangione? What pushed this young, intelligent man from the elite world over the edge? Luigi apparently suffered from a severe back injury. He was supposed to have surgery, but then disappeared. Could the pain he was in every day have pushed him over the edge? I mean, pain can do things to you. It can make you desperate and cause you to see the world differently, especially if you feel like the system is failing you. Let's be honest, the US healthcare system can make anyone feel helpless. Maybe, for Luigi, it all just became too much. His own pain combined with the frustration with healthcare. We still have so many unanswered questions, like how did he find Brian Thompson? How did he know that Thompson had a conference at the Hilton? Did he have an inside source? Did he stalk him? Why was Thompson chosen? Why not some other CEO? Was he randomly selected to make an example of the system? Like, he was the poster child for corporate greed, for putting profits over people. And by killing him, Luigi was striking a blow against the whole system. Anyway, Luigi Mangione did not have a very good escape plan. It's almost as if he wanted to get caught, leaving clues everywhere. Some people wonder if he wanted to use his trial as a platform to spread his message and be seen as someone who would sacrifice himself to expose the evils of the healthcare industry. And all of this is why this case is being talked about across the country. It's not just about murder. It's about a desperate attempt to expose a system he believed was deeply broken. And this is something millions of Americans can relate to. So, in a way, even though his actions were horrific, did he succeed in sparking a conversation? Did he force people to confront the flaws in the healthcare system? Mangione's actions were horrific, but he definitely tapped into something real. A lot of people are feeling powerless and angry at the system, and it's not just about healthcare, it's bigger than that. It's about corporate power and inequality, about feeling like the system is rigged against you. The fact that his manifesto resonated with so many people is pretty scary. It's like he gave a voice to those feelings, even if it was a twisted, violent one. Is this going to change anything? I'm not sure. We need solutions, not just talk. And that's a responsibility we all share. What do you think about all this? If you're from a different country, what kind of healthcare system do you guys have? And if you're an American, do you believe your healthcare system is just and reasonable? Or do you think it's broken and it's time for a change? What can we do as individuals to get the ball rolling and make that change? Thanks for listening. I would love to hear your thoughts on this case, and I would greatly appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks guys. Bye.